Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm so excited to be here again this week. As for some of you that have been tuning in, we go live every other week and just kind of share different tips that can help you as a parent parenting a child with autism. And so Autism Advocate Parenting Magazine has partnered with Autism and Us to share this valuable information with the Facebook groups. So hopefully you guys can get a lot out of it. And I'm really excited about the topic today. I think I've mentioned before, I'm a parent. I'm not an expert myself or a doctor or researcher. However, we search out the best top experts in the field of autism to write for the magazine. And so each month, when the issue comes out, I read the issue along with everybody else and learn different things that I can do for my child on the spectrum. And we're all volunteer here at the magazine, with the exception of editors and admin staff. So I wanted to share with you a topic that I was reading from our bonus content that we give our annual and premium subscribers. And the topic in one of the bonus content articles that we give is on fostering self-esteem in children with autism. And I think that's just so important because oftentimes our children with autism have lower self-esteem. And statistically, they just have higher issues with confidence. And I know especially that's very true for my son, who's 11 years old and is on the spectrum. So I want to share with you some of the tips from this bonus article. So I'm going to share, I think it's about 7 tips today. So hopefully you can take some notes of some things that can help you to help your child. And the first one that I'm going to talk about is identifying and highlighting your child's strengths. So really identifying, where does your child succeed? What are your child's special interests? And take the time to write down all the amazing things about your child. What has your child taught you? Every single child has strengths. And so it's very crucial for parents to identify and highlight these strengths. And when you emphasize it, confidence will naturally follow. The second thing that you want to do as a parent is you really want to praise success. And success in any capacity should be praised. You know your child best. You know where their challenges lie. Is your child a selective eater? Praise them for trying a new food or even smelling a new food. Does your child struggle with anxiety? I know my son does. Praise your child for independently choosing a calming technique. And really every day there's opportunities for your to praise your child for their efforts as well as their successes, and really applaud and encourage every positive step that they make. The third thing that we can do as parents is provide opportunities for our child to succeed. And self-esteem and self-confidence really grows when an individual experiences success. And so we want to create those opportunities as parents. A child with autism is obviously no exception. This is applicable to all children. And it's really important for parents to determine in which area your child can succeed. Does your child enjoy puzzles? Does your child know how to read? Does your child have an incredible memory? Is your child empathetic? And really, once you identify your child's strengths, you can consider the ways to highlight them and show the success in those areas. Some of you may know about Dr. Esther Hest. She is a developmental psychologist. She's very well known in the autism world, and she specializes in autism. And she once retold a story about 3 siblings, one of which had autism. And the child with autism was an exceptional trampolinist. The brothers sold tickets in the neighborhood to the neighborhood children to see their brother in action. And the child with autism just beamed with pride as the neighborhood children watched in awe of his skills. So there's just kind of a neat small example that just really brought self-confidence and self-esteem for that autistic child. So the more opportunities you can find for your children to succeed and to showcase their strengths, the more that confidence is going to grow in them. The fourth thing that you can do as a parent to help foster self-esteem in your child with autism is to give your child responsibilities. And responsibilities give children really a sense of purpose. It allows them to feel trusted. So for example, my son's 11 years old, and he wanted to do chores to make money, but his attention to doing those chores and how long he lasts is very small. And so he wanted to wash dishes, and so we allowed him to do the dishes every night. And those dishes were pretty dirty when they were washed. Of course, we were teaching him, but we praised him all along the way. And of course, when he would go to bed, I'd rewash some of the dishes. But you could see as we like re-emphasize the really clean dishes and how he did such a good job on one of them, each night it would get just a little bit better and a little bit better. So it's not, perfect. Sometimes I have to redo the dishes, but it's really helping his self confidence grow, and it's teaching him life skills as well. So things like making beds or setting or clearing the dinner table. We have our son do the dinner table occasionally, and he loves it. And, there's spots that aren't complete, and some have napkins and some don't. We have all different cups, but it's all great. And we all praise him at what a great job he's doing setting the table. So different chores are great for that. Daily, weekly, whatever your child can handle, but make sure that you're giving them responsibilities and you're acknowledging the work that they're doing. So the fifth thing that you can do as a parent to develop healthy self-esteem in your child is to and foster self-esteem is to let your child know that everyone gets upset. So I want to explain this a little bit. It may seem kind of counterintuitive to building self-esteem, but it's important to let your child know that everyone has bad days and challenges. As social awareness is often a barrier for individuals with autism, your child may imagine that others' lives are quite easy and not understand that other people have a hard time. And this can really send a child into a downward spiral of feeling that they are really the only one with challenges. So, by understanding that others also feel pain, frustration, and anxiety, the child is more likely to be accepting of challenges and to allow confidence to arise in spite of difficulties. I know my son gets pretty upset with things that he thinks that he cannot do. But I will tell you, I thought this was counterintuitive at first until I started to put it into practice. And he started to accept that this might be a normal part of life. It happens to a lot of people, and that he has the capabilities to deal with it, rather than thinking, I have autism, I'm different, I struggle in these areas, everybody else has it easy. It's starting to shift his thinking in that regard. And so I can see that as a positive way to build self-esteem in your child. The sixth thing that we can do as a parent is to model healthy self-esteem. And children really will follow the example of their parents. So if parents tend to be negative about themselves and their accomplishments, children will do the same. If you acknowledge a positive can-do attitude, your children will pick up on this approach to life. Now, is it always perfect? No, because I try to have a can-do positive attitude all the time, and somehow, sometimes my son can take it and make it a negative. But consistently repeating that will help to train them to be more positive or to have a can-do attitude. And I always think about, if Tyler McNamer, who wrote the book Population One. There's another part to the beginning of that book, but you can look it up by his name in Population One. And I did an IGTV interview on Instagram with him. And I was so amazed because his attitude was always like, can do, like, it doesn't hurt to try. I think, what was his phrase? It was, it was so amazing. You'll have to watch the IGTV interview. It was, there are no can'ts, only tries. And he always used to say that to himself and still does. And I remember sitting down and, having my son watch the IGTV interview because I wanted him to see this positive can-do attitude from this amazing autistic individual who had so much to share about just having a can-do attitude in anything that you approach. So encourage yourself as a parent to speak positively during difficult times. Surround yourself with people who will do the same as well. And the last tip I want to share with you is love. Let your children know in words and actions that they are loved. Make a list or a picture book of family members, friends, neighbors, teachers that all care for your child. There is nothing that will build a child's self-esteem more than having a sense of love and belonging. So I hope this really helps you to have some tips at your fingertips to help your child build their self-esteem. I know a lot of children with autism suffer with this. And so here are some things that you can easily do in the home consistently to try to help your child have more confidence and to feel better about themselves. So thanks everybody for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can pop them up. Otherwise, feel free to get this article along with a ton of other bonus content, as well as free downloads through Autism and Us. If you go to www.autismadvocateparentingmagazine.com /autism and us, I think the link is coming up at the bottom, and you use the coupon code autism and us, all in capitals, for an annual or a premium subscription. Not only will you get an incredible discount for this community, but you'll get a ton of extra freebies and supports and helps in your login area when you subscribe to the magazine. So thanks everybody, and I hope you have a great week. We will see you in 2 weeks with some more tips on how you can best serve your child. Thanks everyone.